So you can make pom-poms. It comes with 2 different sizes, a larger one and a smaller one. I'll show you one of each so you can see with the same. This is a thinner yarn. You can do a thicker yarn too, whatever your project is. But to use it, you're simply going to open the 2 sides like that. See how that opens? It actually opens all the way when you get done. But what we're going to do, and this is super simple, is see how this has the 2? You're going to line those up, and you're just going to be wrapping around a bunch of times. So I've got that. I'm going to push that to the side. Don't be worried about everything being lined up perfectly, because you can snip the threads when you're done if you don't like if it's a little uneven or whatever. Since this is a thinner yarn, this is going to take longer. I'll shoot another video. You can even do this with different colors of yarn all at the same time. It makes it look really pretty. You can make pom-poms like with cardboard or wrapping stuff around your fingers, but this is so much easier. And I found that it just looks way more uniform when I'm done, and it makes me want to make pom-poms because this thing is so easy. I bought this randomly years ago, just, oh, what's that do? Walking through the fabric store, and I'm so glad I did. One of the few impulse purchases I don't regret. Alright, so you can see I've got a bunch on there. And if it were thicker yarn, this would be filled up more, but because it's thinner yarn, it's not filling up that gap as much, and that's okay. And you want to keep going until it feels really full, and it'll start getting harder to put it around at the point. So you can see that bottom void is starting to fill up a little bit more. And that's looking pretty good. I'm going to make sure each of the sides is totally done so that they're even with everything else. A little more over here. Oops. And then I'm just going to snip that thread. You don't have to worry. You could have it out to here and mess up and it'd still be fine. I'm going to snip about there. But anything you do, you'll be able to trim at the end. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and we'll be right back. Alright, so we've wrapped both sides. And yeah, if you look at them, they look about even here. I'm certainly not going to count arounds here. And what you're going to do is turn it sideways. It doesn't matter which side you start on. They're exactly the same. And you're going to take scissors, and they're going to slide right in there. Now, if your scissors are as dull as mine are, it's kind of more of a tearing motion than a cutting motion. But there's a track all the way through that you can kind of follow, kind of like when you buy fabric. And you're just going to cut, or once again tearing motion with mine, all the way down. See that? So we've got every thread snipped, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. So we've cut all through both sides. And now we're going to take, and if you had a thick yarn, you could even use thread if you thought it was too thick to go through. But we're going to take our same colored yarn, and we're going to push through that side all the way to the other end. And depending on what you're doing, make sure you have enough left over, like if you're sewing it to something else and you want to use the thread from the pom-pom to attach it. But we're going to take that through, and we're going to pull really tight, and I'm anal retentive, so we're going to double knot that really tight, and then we're going to wrap around with that thread again and do another knot. I don't know if that really makes it stronger, but it certainly makes me feel better about it. And double knotting. And so you can trim these threads when you're snipping the pom-pom if you're not using them for something else. But the next thing we're going to do is open these. Boop. And this is the fun part where you get a little afraid. Oh, is it gonna work? Boop. Did that. And I'm taking my hands, I'm just kind of fluffing or fuzzing or whatever that word would be. And you can see there are a few strings, especially since my yarn had a little break in it, but you can see there are some things that are just hanging out. So that's where you come in with your scissors and just roll it around and see what bothers you. That piece right there is bothering me, and it's really pretty good all by itself. So anything that bothers you, go snip it. And as promised, that's what the smaller size looks like. So the big yellow one did this ball, and the little pink one did this ball. So anyway, that's how you make a pom-pom, and I'm going to make another video right now to show you how to do different colors. So go check out that video too.